Welcome to the Alpha Gal Outdoorsman Podcast, where we talk all things Alpha Gal and all things outdoors. Everything from hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, canoeing, kayaking, jeeping, off-roading, even gardening. I'm your host, Robert Worley. Hey, y'all, welcome back to another episode of Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Like the intro said, I'm your host, Robert Worley. Got a good episode for you here today. Before we get started, we just had one heck of a snowstorm where we live. And I know that my guest lives really close to my area right here. We both been plowing snow for a couple of days. I think we got 16 or 18 inches. It's been a doozy. Um, so I've had a few emails talking about 2 weeks in between podcast drops is a little bit of long time for people that. So I've been considering doing a bonus drop. Not trying to really get a guest on. I'll do a bonus drop. I might start doing a few here and there. It'll be the week in between the 2 weeks that we don't have a podcast, and that'll just probably be me coming on. We'll talk about what I'm doing, hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, or whatever it might be. Um, and then as far as guests goes, we're always looking for guests when it comes to people outdoors. It don't have to be hunting and fishing and stuff. That's the stuff that I do and I love to do. I know my today's guest also loves to do, but 2 weeks ago episode with Will on there with the mountain climber. He'd climbed, El Capitan and places like that. So we're looking for any kind of guest that might be interested in some of that. So no further ado, my guest today is I'm pretty sure he's the owner, operator, truck driver, phone call answerer, email guy, and everything for Pure Whitetail.
Yeah,
Welcome, Josh Martin. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Good to be here. Like you said, man, we had a once in a generation storm that we're just digging out of, man. And I spent a lot of time in the side by side the last 3 days. It seems like helping out all my neighbors here too. We've all got real long driveways here on our road. I've got a half a mile driveway. I did another half a mile driveway for a neighbor today, man, and he was just. Actually, my dad drove by and the poor guy was out there shoveling it. His tractor was down and he was
Yeah,
trying to shovel a half a mile driveway with 16, 18 inches of snow, like you said, and it
yeah.
just had to go help.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
them
yeah,
old timers,
it's been a
they
doozy.
got no quit in them. He would
I
have got
know
her done.
he would have.
Yeah.
He might have been next
Yeah.
week, but he'd have got it done.
He'd have got her done. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Josh, now you tell us a little bit about yourself, before we get into all the details of the stuff we like to talk about. Where you come from, you can put your age in if you like, kids and
Yeah.
family and all that.
Yeah, so I was born and raised right here in Southwest Ohio, specifically Madison Township. So for those of you who don't know, that's Middletown. Um, Graduated from Madison High School in '96, so that puts me at 48 years old. We're actually got to retire from AK Steel. So I put in almost just under 20 years at AK, and the reason I got to retire was because my I had more than 15 years of service and I was over 40 years old. So I actually retired the day after I turned 40. And what allowed me to do that was the immediate success of Pure Whitetail. So when Pure Whitetail started, it was just kind of like the momentum was just so huge that was working 100, 120, 130 hours a week trying to do both, work at the steel mill and pack orders for Pure Whitetail when we started, and it was just literally killing us, and had to make a decision, and called out front and said, "Hey, man, I'm going to quit." And she called me back like 5 minutes later. She said, "If you can stay one more month," it was like 3.5 weeks. She said, "If you can stay 3.5 more weeks, you'll get a full retirement." I said, "I think I can manage three and a
I
half
bet
more
so.
weeks."
Yeah.
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 So started Pure Whitetail. That was in 2017. And then it's just taken off from there, man. It's just beyond my wildest dreams. The Lord has really, really blessed. The company has blessed me and my family, and everybody that's been involved with it. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's been a blessing. It's not all sunshine and rainbows,
It
for
never
sure.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's definitely. It is a 24/7, 365 business. When you're the owner, and it just never stops. But it has been a blessing. So
That's
I'm
awesome.
very, very fortunate. Yeah, it's allowed me to do. it's allowed me to do. Before that, I had been in the I had been filming hunts since 2003.
I've watched a
So
bunch of your videos online.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah, got some good
Yeah,
ones
so
too.
I had
Yeah.
started and was on the Outdoor Channel for a little while. Back long ago, some of you may remember this, but this is going way back. There was a channel. It used to be, before it was Pursuit, it used to be called the Men's Channel. So it was all hunting and fishing. Then it became the Pursuit. Then Outdoor Channel come along. But I've been involved with some different shows over the years. Then I started my own back in 2015, and then it just kind of growed from there, and still got that today. So
Nice, nice.
yeah. So it's been a blessing, man, for sure. And then got three kids. My daughter's married, pregnant with my first grandkid, and I just cannot wait for that. She's due in May, so I'm very very excited about that. Been married to my wife for almost 27 years. So that's coming up in May.
That's
So
a
I've
lot.
got,
That's a lot to say for people
yeah.
your age to be married
Hmm.
that long. That's awesome, Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's very rare these days. Unfortunately, it seems
it
like it's
sure
very
is.
rare these
It
days, but
sure is. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we've got twin boys as well. They're both getting married this year too. So I've got a really busy spring. It's usually from turkey hunting and bear hunting, but this year I've got a boy getting married in April. I got my granddaughter being born in May, and I got my other boy getting married in June. So I got April, May, June is going to be very very busy.
You're
Yeah,
booked up for spring.
yeah,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's
yeah.
going to be a fun spring, that's for sure.
Yeah. So, just to touch on a couple of things, Josh, we've never met. I look on Facebook, we got tons of mutual friends.
Yeah.
Obviously, being of outdoorsmen that we both are. Um, the AK where he's talking about retiring from is a steel mill close to us. It's one of them
Mhm.
places. It's the lifelong job there. I think
Yeah.
it's called the
Yeah.
Cliffs now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But so before we get too far into pure whitetail, which I really want to touch on, um, how long have you had alpha gal syndrome? Do you remember
Uh,
when you got tick bit?
yes, I do. Actually, I was actually on a turkey hunt in Oklahoma, and I can remember that trip, man. Every time we would come in, what we were doing is we were turkey hunting in the morning and bass fishing in farm ponds in the afternoon.
Perfect day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was perfect,
perfect
right? It
days.
was perfect,
Yeah,
life changing, that's for sure for me. But
yeah,
it was just really really hot out there. We would turkey hunt in the morning, bass fish in the afternoon, and just come in and just picking ticks off of us left and right. Right? Never
yeah,
had heard of alpha gal. This was before it was even in the news, or at least that I had heard of it. And
yeah.
it happened on that trip. So I believe that was in late April. And then my first reaction was in mid July. So mid July, we was actually having a pure whitetail, what we called a bash. So I had about 1,200 people here at my farm here, and so there was a ton of people here. It was actually, thank goodness, it was winding down, and all of a sudden this rash just come over me, and I mean, this literally was covering my whole body, and I'm like, what is going on? Had never had anything like that before in my life. So go to the emergency room, and I'm sitting there, and I told my wife, I said, man, I'm having trouble breathing. And so the doctor came in, and it was during COVID. Okay, so I was wearing a mask, and it felt like my lips were tingling, and I pulled my mask down, and I never forget. My wife was like, "Holy cow!" And it looked like Nutty Professor.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
lips were like just gigantic, and then all of a sudden, I really couldn't breathe, and the doctor was like, I'm going to be right. So I told my wife, I said, go get the doctor. I'm really having problems breathing. Well, I was having, I was going into
An
anaphylactic,
anaphylactic. Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah. And so he come back, shot me in the leg, um, gave me that shot of an epi shot. And then, immediately started getting better, started getting relief where I could
So,
breathe again
Josh,
and
your
stuff.
first symptom, you was anaphylactic.
Yeah.
That was
First,
the first. You never
right out the
had.
nothing.
Wow,
Nothing
wow.
else. Just that was like bam, that's it. So obviously I didn't know what it was, right? So I'm like, Dad, going, what's that? What? So the doctor, followed up with my primary doctor and said, had to be something you ate, right? So fast forward 4 more times this happened. So I had no idea what was going on, couldn't figure it out. I'm like, what's going on, And so after the fifth time of almost dying, and I'm anaphylactic every time, right? So,
Oh, you're the extreme. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
I was the extreme. So, and a touch back on the first episode. So I have a heart condition. So I was on a heart pill. So I went to my heart doctor about 6 months. It was 4 to 6 months after that first episode, and he was like, he's like, "Do you know how lucky you are to be here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man." I said that's, and it was twice, right? The second
Yeah.
time so it was, I'd already had it twice before I went to see him. I'd only one time had to have the epi shot though. I had got to the hospital quick, the second time. He's like, "You know
Sure.
how lucky you are to be here?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, that was the scariest." He goes, "No," he said, "Let me explain this to you. When they gave you that epi shot in the emergency room, it should have killed you immediately because that epi shot and the heart medicine you're on doesn't, that should have been,
Oh,
yeah." He said it should have stopped your heart. He said, "I don't know why it didn't." So I was very, very, very fortunate, very blessed to even be here. So
okay. So
obviously,
let's talk about this
mhm,
for a second. So, are you
yeah,
still on that heart medicine?
no,
Oh, I
no,
would
he
hope
he
not.
changed it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he changed
Changed
it.
it.
Yeah.
So
Obviously
now,
doing what obviously doing what I do, I do a lot of hunts where I'm way far away from a hospital or even a doctor or
right, right.
anybody. I'm in northern Saskatchewan, I'm in eastern Montana, I'm wherever,
Yeah.
on the globe in backcountry wilderness of Idaho, whatever. So
Yeah.
two EpiPens everywhere I go. But so that one scared me to death. So fast forward to after the fifth time, I go to my doctor and I'm like, "Listen, doc," I said, "I think I got this figured out." I said, "I think I'm allergic to beef." And so my doc, of course, just like a primary physician, he is like, "I've been doing medicine for
Yeah.
40 years. I've never had anybody allergic to beef in 40 years." I said, "Well," I said, "I'd like you to test me for it." I said, "Because this has happened every time after I've ate beef." And he was like, "There ain't no way." He's like, "It's just impossible." And I'm like, "Okay." And so he said, "But we're going to test you though, just to prove you wrong." And I'm like, "Okay," he's being a
Yeah.
smart aleck, right?
Yeah.
They test me and I'm off the charts, right? I'm allergic. I'm off the charts. And he was like, "Man," he's like, "I apologize. You're off the charts. I need you to go down here. I'm making you an appointment right away. You need to go down here." So I went to a specialist in Cincinnati, and he was like, "Man," so I went and done blood work for him, and he knows all about alpha gal, right? He knew all about it. He was very
Yeah.
well versed. He actually sits on the board. There's a board of like 10 doctors, and they meet once a year. And he explained it to me, but he's on that board. And so I go do the blood work, wait a couple weeks or whatever, go in. They actually called me in to sit down and have a talk. He goes, "Well," he's like, "Man, I want to congratulate you." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "Your numbers are the highest numbers that as far as me and my team of doctors have ever tested." He says, "You are literally off the charts."
For alpha gal.
Wow. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
not what I want to hear. Yeah. He goes,
Yeah.
"Yeah." He said, "Man," he said, these numbers don't even make sense. And he sent me back for another blood work just to make sure they were right. And they were
Yeah.
right. So I just tested way off the charts. And so that's been almost 6 years ago now. So
Yeah.
it's been a struggle. I think most people don't, I think as for me personally, I know everybody deals with it differently, but for me personally, um, the mental side of it is way harder than the physical side of it. So like, I think I can get used to like everybody else eating a steak or going out to dinner and everybody you go to a rib place, whatever, everybody's eating ribs and I'm eating chicken, right? I can
Yeah.
deal with that stuff, but
Right.
it's just the mentality thing of, like knowing that it's something I can never do again, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
You
And there's
know,
the
and
glue. Just to touch a little bit, elaborate on this. So, like,
mm,
when you talk about the mental side, I had some serious. Listen, I've always the guy's been large and in charge.
yeah,
The,
right,
they can sit
right.
over and have a steak. It's not bothering me, but I'm the same. So when you say mental side, um, there is a gloom and doom side that's
Hmm.
inside of us that comes along with alpha gal that there is no way. I understand
Yes.
exactly what you're saying, but
Yeah.
people out there
Mhm.
don't get it. And it's
Right. Right.
real. It is
Yeah.
real as
It
it can
is.
be.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
You got to fight that. It's I don't want to call it. I don't want to call it depression, but because I'm not that kind of guy, I love the cold. I love the snow. I love the sunshine. I love spring, fall, summer, winter. I just
yeah,
love
sure.
life, right?
Yeah,
I love life type guy. I love going to the beach and vice versa. I like being, 38 below in North Dakota bow hunting,
yeah,
all the extremes. I love everything about life. So I don't want to call it a depression, but it's almost like when you think of it, you're like, man, this really sucks,
yeah.
because I was the guy that grilled on the back deck, that barbecued, and that done all that stuff, 3 or 4 times a week, right?
Oh,
So I
me
was,
too. Right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I was just like that was life. Wild game was life, like one that really bothered me here recently was last January. I killed. I got a very incredible, just an incredible opportunity. I got to go hunt American bison with a real Sioux Indian
Oh,
tribe
no
in
kidding.
Montana.
Yeah,
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 just absolutely incredible experience. Just like like things I've done, like mountain lion hunt stuff. I don't even call them hunts; they're just adventures, right?
yeah. Right.
And and I got to go on a hunt in Montana with the Sioux Indians on their reservation, and it was just surreal, right? And to not be able to take part in that, I killed
Yeah.
gigantic bull, 2,100 pound bull, and to not be able to eat it and everybody else in my family is eating it, that one's pretty tough, right?
That's a tough one. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
tough one, and
Yeah,
the same way, yeah,
we
it's
spend
tough,
all winter filling our freezers. You know, that's
right?
what I did all the way up until Alpha Gal. So I'm almost
Yep.
3 years in, right?
Right.
And spend my whole, Colorado elk,
Yep.
whitetail Kentucky,
Hmm.
whitetail Ohio,
Yep.
and then small game. I got a little squirrel dog running around the house. I
Hmm.
spend my whole winter stocking my freezer. And
Right.
man, the sense of pride that I used to get to go
Uh-huh.
out there to that freezer and pull that elk roast out
Yep.
or something like that in the middle of
Yep.
summer and said, try this, boys,
Right. Yeah.
and
Yep.
now it's different. It takes a
Right.
lot of geese. It takes a lot of Canadian geese to fill that freezer.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. I try to
Yeah.
kill as many turkeys as I can, as many pheasants as I
Yeah.
can. I'm killing all kinds of stuff, all kinds of birds. But yeah, and I still fill the freezer, with elk and mule deer and antelope and whitetails
Yeah.
and buffalo and whatever. I just give it away, give it to everybody in the family.
I do too.
One
My
thing that's really
kids. Yeah.
one thing that I really, really missed was jerky. And I mean, like when you're driving
Me
around,
too, dude.
especially, yeah, just like especially when you're at a hunt camp or something and everybody's eating jerky. But one thing that my dad has done for me is, and it's actually really, really good. So some people watching this might want to try it. He actually go and believe it or not, I mean, it's hard to believe, right? He goes and buys ground turkey for me, and hand makes turkey jerky and just seasons it up. And I'm telling you, it's phenomenal.
That's good
It
stuff, huh?
Yeah, it's
So he
good
squirts
stuff.
it out of one of the guns, one of
Yeah,
the jerky
yeah,
guns. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
it's just you're just substituting that for the turkey and
right.
he
Right.
hand makes it, seasons it just like he does. Like he's been making elk. I just killed an elk recently in Montana. So he's making elk for everybody else, and then makes turkey for me. But
That's
today I
awesome.
just had 6 or 8 pieces while I was out in the shop today. But
Yeah. I'll tell you
it
what I've just recently done is I took four goose breasts and
mhm,
cleaned them up and then sliced them against the grain, kind of thin
yeah,
like jerky. And then I just made jerky out of them goose breasts.
yeah,
And I'm not kidding you. You almost can't tell the difference. Now I use
yeah.
like a Dale seasoning, which is I'd say for me, it has a couple things in it, caramel extracts, I think. So
Yeah.
Some people would have to look at it, but for me, I'm
Right.
healthy with it. But that goose jerky was, man, it was out of sight. It was like, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
it's like I was having deer again.
Right, right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, I've so let me ask you a question. Do you ever cheat?
Uh, Not on purpose.
Yeah.
It's funny. I just had this conversation with my wife about just about a half an hour ago. Now,
Mhm.
um, I just had a reaction about we went to a Mexican. There's one Mexican restaurant that we'll hit. We get a
Mhm.
chicken fajitas, but you know they mix all that stuff and
Oh yeah.
um, found a piece of meat in it. Now I
Mhm.
didn't. I'm pretty sure I watched as I made my fajitas. I didn't get no meat in there, but it
Yeah.
being cooked together. I come home that night. I had a little reaction through the night. It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing bad.
Yeah.
Just some GI stuff, a skin itch here and there. But
Yeah.
I just had this conversation with her that. I want to go a few months. I'm going to make go best I can without a reaction. If I maybe 2 or 3 months, and then I'd like to try a piece of deer meat. I'd like to
Yeah.
try a piece of loin or something
Mhm.
that's really clean. I haven't yet. Now, what about you? Do you cheat? Are you?
So here's the deal with me. So not on purpose. I haven't cheated in almost 5 years, like zero, right?
Yeah.
And here's the reason I've been so strict about myself. Now I did have a reaction about 2.5 years ago. It was during the summer. We was at Norris Lake boating, and we had a rain day, so we ran to Pigeon Forge and went to the old mill, and their green beans had ham in it, and I didn't
Mm,
know.
yeah.
And they had no. I'm sorry, no, 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 that's wrong. They made them. They had bacon in them. That's what it was. They had
Yeah.
bacon
Okay.
in them. So I ate some of the green beans, and then in the middle of the night, I had anaphylactic again. Had to
Mm.
drive myself to the emergency room in right there in La Follette at Norris Lake, and luckily made it there in time. But the reason why I've been so strict on myself is because every time I go to my allergist every 6 months, and every time that I had been there, my number had been coming down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
every like 9 appointments in a row. So the time before last, he was like, "Hey, man, you're almost at the you could probably start eating meat now." He said, "Give me 6 months." He said, "Give me 6 more months," and he said, "I think you're in the clear."
Now,
So I
okay.
was the
So that.
happiest person on earth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, my number was like at a I don't know the way that he does it. It was like at a 6. I needed to be at a 5, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
and I was way over 100 when we started, and it took me like 2 years to get below 100, and then I had slowly just decreased. So waited 6 months, went back. I'm excited. Went for the blood test. My number goes up to like 95.
Are you
I'd
kidding
went,
me?
he goes, "Man, what happened? Did you cheat?" I said, "Absolutely not. Had no reaction. Didn't cheat." So the only thing that he could think was I got bit again. So
Mm,
obviously, it's my livelihood to be in the woods.
right. Yeah.
And I wish I didn't have to be in the woods in the springtime, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
So that's the only thing he could think is I got bit in the spring. He
I've
said because
I've I've
I
had a
was there.
second bite as well. I've had a
Oh
second
yeah.
bite as well. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I started reacting like 6 weeks after that second bite, and
Yeah.
it wasn't severe, but it was to things that I was able to do before I
Mm.
started reacting. I just cleaned my diet way, way back up, made it real
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah.
And I stayed on that for a couple of months, and it finally, now I'm kind of not back to normal, but I'm back to where I was after the first bite, when I
Oh,
was getting control.
right.
Um,
Right.
so Josh, so let's get into some pure whitetail. So
Yeah.
pure whitetail, you sell, and that's man, that's when I started talking to Lori about you, thinking about that. I'm an avid outdoorsman. It's what I
Right.
do.
Right.
But it is absolutely, when you say it's your livelihood, it is absolutely your
It is.
livelihood. You're filming
Yep.
hunts, and
Yep.
you're selling product. You're
Yep.
out there. You're in it. But Pure Whitetail. So tell us. Let's talk a little bit about Pure Whitetail, about what you do, or and what the
Mhm.
products that you do sell.
Yeah, so we sell high quality deer scents. So we have a liquid line, we have a shot line, a power shot line, which is like the little rubber balls, like time release. You pour them on the ground, release, or put them in a bag or what, hang them in over a scrape or whatever. And then we've had power dust too. So we are the first ones to ever be able to infuse 100% natural deer urine into a dust form. So that's huge for us. And then we also have, we're huge in the food plot seed mineral. Man, what else we do? Scent elimination line. We have a full scent elimination line, the only one in the industry with copper ion technology. So just basically anything to whitetail hunt, we sell it, right? We
Yeah,
manufacture and sell it.
gotcha.
So yes, it is my livelihood. Hunting is the only way that I make a living. I also am a real estate agent, but I do that just on the side.
I
Just
got
got
you.
my license back in the winter, and
Yeah.
or back
Yep.
last winter, and really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. But hunting and fishing is just how I make my living. So
Sure. Sure.
yeah, it's been a blessing. But yeah, Pure Whitetail, we've been around. We're going into our ninth year now, so we've been around a while. So yeah, I love it. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with making it better. Right.
That's
I'm
awesome. Yeah.
obsessed with the customer having a better experience.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's what it's all about. Is how I want to. If you buy let's say, if you buy our White Lightning, it's our Peak Extra scent. I want my goal is for you to have a better hunt. I want you to have the
Yeah.
best hunt you've ever had.
And the
So
White Lightning
that's
is your
important to me.
top seller for sure. Your White Lightning's your top seller,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes
Yeah.
to deer scents, it is
That's your doe
shady.
and estrus.
Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
peak doe and estrus. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah,
Now,
it's my favorite.
Josh, you got a farm with deer on them? I
We
mean,
used to when we were small, and
yeah,
then we just got so big. We sent the deer off to another farm, had them collect. Then we just got so big again. Then we had to start, farming it out, quote unquote, farming it out. I
I
mean, we
see.
just,
Okay.
yeah,
Well, good. Yeah.
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 We're probably the largest direct to consumer deer scent company in the world.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
yeah. Hmm.
So I told you, I talked to you when I talked to you the first time. I have one of the farms I hunt. It got logged, and they
Mm,
left all the scrub trees. You got some
yeah,
cottonwoods and stuff, and it just overgrown with honeysuckle.
yeah,
And man, the deer love it. There is deer on that farm
yeah.
like crazy,
That's
but
right.
hunting them is tough.
Yeah.
And I'm set up on this. I'm set up on this area inside this honeysuckle where I don't know why the honeysuckle didn't grow there. I'm glad it didn't. Okay.
Hmm.
But it's probably 30 or 40 yards wide and maybe 50 yards long,
Yeah. Hmm.
and I want to be able to go in there and throw something down. And
Yep.
you had
Yep.
told me about something that you guys
Yep.
carry, right?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
Shady Patch. Yeah, it's actually our number one selling product overall, which is a throw and grow no-till food plot seed. So basically, the only thing you got to do is rake away the debris, get seed to soil contact, and that stuff's going to grow. Man, it literally will grow on blacktop. It's literally unbelievable
Is
stuff.
that
It
right? And
is.
deer love
Yeah.
it, huh? Yeah.
Yep. And we sell a ton of it. It outsells our entire food plot seed line times 10. So
Really?
all the clover, all the like clover and chicory, turnips, sugar beets, all that stuff we sell that actually takes equipment to do,
Yeah.
that you need to prepare the ground, till the ground up and stuff. Shady patches, anybody can do it. Depends on
Rake
how
it.
hard you want to work, right? Just rake the soil back or take in a leaf blower. A lot of guys will take in a big leaf blower,
Yeah.
blow the leaves out or whatever, blow
And
the
throw it
debris out
down.
and throw it down. Seed to soil contact, you're good to go, man. I've seen some incredible shady patch plots in big down south and in between the pine rows.
Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah, I
guy will
bet
go in
so.
there, yeah, guy will go in there and rake away all the pine needles, get seed to soil contact, and man, them deer just love it, man. They
I
do.
bet
It
they
does
do. Yeah.
numbers
As
down.
long as it's above freezing, you say, huh?
Yeah, long as it's above freezing, you got seed to soil contact, man, you're going to be good to go. That's what makes it so popular. Anybody can do it. You don't need a tractor, you don't need a plow, you don't need a tiller, none of that stuff. Just you need a rake
I'm
and
going
a
to
little
give
bit
that
of
stuff a
motivation.
try come
Yeah,
spring for sure. So,
yeah,
Josh, I want to move on here a little bit and talk about
yeah.
some of your hunts. And man, I've got some notes on here that I don't know if we'll get to all of it, but there's one date in particular that I'm going
Yeah,
to ask you about that you
yeah,
said you didn't mind taking the back seat on. That's
yes, sir.
December 3rd of 2003, and that was the day you took the back seat. You want to tell us about
Yeah,
that day?
yeah, man. Pretty special day. So that day, what most people don't know is that was the fifth anniversary of my wife's dad passing away. And so we got a walkout basement. So we walk out the basement, get to the side of the house, start walking down to the creek, and look down into our bottom field down there, and there stands the biggest buck I've ever seen in my life. You know, I'm tagged out. Heather's got the tag. And long story short, she ends up killing the woman's world record whitetail. And one of the
Is it
biggest
still the
bucks ever.
record? Is it still the record?
Actually, it's as far as I know, it's still the biggest whitetail ever killed by a woman with a muzzle loader, and it ranks
Wow.
like back then it was like fourth all time woman's kill any weapon,
Yeah.
and I think since then I think there's probably been three maybe. So she's still in the top 10 of bucks killed all time woman.
Man,
It was it
what
was
an
crazy.
amazing, yeah, what an
Yeah,
amazing story.
there
Yeah.
were so many stats. It was the biggest whitetail ever killed in the state of Ohio by a woman. I think it might still be, but it was two for those wondering. It was 223.3 gross,
Oof.
203, 204 and 1/8 net. Just
Yeah.
huge, massive buck. 21 points, 22 inches inside, two drops. Just
Wow.
9 inches circumference.
So
Nine
I
inches
did
up the
see
boulder.
pictures of that on the Facebooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did start a Facebook page. The last episode. It's called Alpha
Mm-hmm.
Outdoorsman. So any
Okay.
pictures that you have, send to me, and when this gets dropped on
Mm-hmm.
February the 15th, I will share them on there.
Okay.
We don't
Yeah.
got a lot of likes yet, but
I
it's
can help with
something
that.
where. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
great. Yeah,
Yeah, I can
it's
help with that.
somewhere where people can go that listen to the podcast can go look at pictures and see who
Yeah.
they're actually listening to.
Yeah.
So the wife got the world record in
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
Last I think this year. You and your son Hunter was in Iowa,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
looks like he shot a doozy.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a really good friend in Iowa that owns 3,000 acres in southeast Iowa. Right there where all the quote unquote celebrities have that hunt. The Bomars, the Juries, the Lakoskis, all them, and
Yeah,
he just happens to own 3,000 acres right there in the middle of it all. And he is I'm the lucky one that's really good friends with him. So just a super super nice guy, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And but yeah, me and my son went out there. It was his turn this year and to deer hunt, and because it's pretty tough to draw tags in Iowa these days.
sure. Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, he had like 4 points, so he finally drew late muzzleloader, and just had a fantastic hunt, seen a ton of deer, hunted over one of our pure whitetail food plots out there, our Sugar Rush plot. And it was crazy because night number two, he actually got really sick and just couldn't even get out of the bed. And I was like, well, man, I'm going to go for you and just scout, take the camera and just set in the blind and just see what happens and just scout for you.
yeah,
And lo and behold, had 46 deer come out, 17 different bucks come out, three or four shooters. And the next night, another buck that wasn't even there the night before showed up, and I felt like it was just a little too far. And then the next night, that night he was like, and look, he's a grown man, right? He's bigger than I am. He's 26 years old,
yeah.
and he's like 6'3", 220, so he's bigger than I am. He's like, Dad, if that deer steps out there like that again, I'm taking a shot. And I was like, all right.
All right.
And
Yeah.
so he stepped out the next night and at like 150 yards, and he just 12 ringed him. So it's perfect. Video's amazing. It's just one of them really cool videos. You can just see the muzzleloader bullet just just
Oh,
12
that's
range. You can
awesome.
see, yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it in slow motion. So I'll have
I
that
s-
hung up here soon. Yeah,
good,
yeah,
good.
that was a good one. That was really good. Nothing
I seen
like
the
with the
picture of him.
kids,
He
man.
is a dandy, man.
Yeah,
He is a
he's a cool
dandy.
he's a cool buck. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like bottom circumference on that one side is like 7 inches. So I mean, yeah, he was a big old buck. Yeah, nice
Yeah.
buck.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, yeah, hunting with your kids is an absolute pleasure. My
Nothing
son,
better, man.
my son's a wrestling coach now. So you
Yeah.
went to Madison, I went to Preble
Huh?
Shawnee, which
Oh, okay.
now they're rivals. Now
Yeah,
that's a
right, right. Yeah,
battle of the border, right? So my
right.
son is the varsity coach over there at Preble Shawnee, the
Oh,
wrestling
okay,
team over
awesome.
there. But
Yeah,
he is able to sneak off a little bit. He got some Kentucky rifle in with me down there this
yeah,
year.
awesome.
So there ain't there like you said, there ain't nothing like hunting with your kids.
Yep.
Um, it looks like you had a good. Now let's take your turn here. You had a good
Yes, sir.
year out there in Montana this year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I did. I actually, I've got a good friend out there. Actually, my best friend who just tried to call me here a minute ago. He lives right on the border of Montana and North Dakota, and eastern Montana and western North Dakota. And I was out there. I was out there in early September. Killed a real nice buck. I killed a nice 10 with my bow out there at the beginning of the year, and then went back and went to central Montana and killed a real nice bull elk. And then, hey, man, it was real warm. So I wanted to get that to my buddies. And so I just hopped in the truck, killed him in the morning, hopped in the truck, drove all the way to my buddies, got the elk hook hung up, got the hide off of him, started cooling him down. And then went out the next morning and just got super lucky and killed a giant mule deer the very next morning. So killed a bull elk one morning, the very next morning killed a giant mule deer.
That
So
is awesome.
yeah, I just got lucky, man. It's better to be lucky than good. I've
Yeah.
met a lot of friends. I do travel a lot, and I spend a lot of time out there in Montana. But I was with another buddy of mine that owns a really, really good ranch out there, and a big cattle ranch out there, and he allows me to mule deer hunt there, and just really blessed to have good friends. That's what it's all about, man. I mean,
Yes, for sure. For
it's
sure.
just all who you know, right?
Right.
It's all your spot. I
It
mean,
is.
people talk about, oh man, he's a great hunter. Well, he's this or what. You know what? Let's cut the BS, right? It's all, how good is your spot? It is at least 60% of it, right? You
Well,
know,
it's easy. It's when you got a spot. You can and a lot of people know to do it right. The
yeah,
problem is not getting too excited and
right,
then
yeah,
doing something wrong, because
right,
as
yep,
hunters we tend to screw it up a dozen times
right,
before we
yep,
get that one good day,
yep. That's right. That's right.
not catching wind or whatever so
Uh-huh.
you hunt all over the country. When
Yeah,
you travel, and you're traveling, you got to eat. We got
yeah.
alpha gal,
Tough,
you
very
know
tough.
yeah, so you're hunting. You like I said, you're hunting on a ranch with a beef rancher,
Yeah.
um, and you're hunting these places. Do you take a lot of your own food?
Yes.
Do you eat
Mhm.
out, or what's
No.
your
Nope. So what I usually do is I usually so if let's say I'm hunting with somebody that I've never hunted with before, like I'm hunting with an outfitter or whatever that doesn't know me from Adam. So perfect example of that is my elk out that where I went elk hunted this year. He didn't. We had never met before. So 2 weeks before I get there, I was like, "Hey man, I forgot to tell you. I have alpha gal syndrome, which means I'm allergic to beef, pork, all wild game. If it ain't got fins or feathers, I can't eat it. Right?"
yeah,
And
right,
he was like, wow. He said, literally everything that we make at elk camp is wild game, beef or pork. And I'm like,
yeah,
well, I was like, I said, I'll bring most of my own food, but, and if I need to bring all my own food, no big deal, man. I've been through this for years, so no big
right,
deal. But
yeah,
most of them are very, very understanding and they had a different kind of chicken for me every night I was there. So just great
that's
people.
awesome. Yeah,
Yeah, just great people, and 99% of people are like that, right? The people that I bear hunt with in northern Saskatchewan, like all the way up close to the Northwest Territories, like if something happened to me up there, I'm a goner, right? I mean, heck,
sure,
it's yeah, I'm 6 hours from a hospital, like
yeah,
literally.
right, right,
I'm in between two Indian reservations, and I mean, there'd just be nothing that could happen.
Anybody can
So
do. Right.
yeah,
Right.
and they take really really good care of me too. They know all about, I've been hunting with them for years, and they know all about, my alpha gale and everything. And but like I said, you just got to take precautions. You just got to be, when you're on a trip like that, like if you're, no matter where you're at, but when you're really really far away from a hospital, you're really really careful about what you eat.
Yeah,
You're
I would
extra
think
careful.
so. That.
No, turkey jerky.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I struggle with, but I've been doing better. I've been eating a lot more fruit lately. But one thing I struggle with, listen, I go to the gym every morning at 5 o'clock, right? And I'm a gym rat, but I'm also a junk food. I'm terrible, right?
Yeah. Right.
Chocolate chip cook, and it's got worse since AlphaGale, because the excuse that I make to myself, even though I'm at the gym every morning at 5, I get up at 5 and go to the gym, right? I'm really
Yeah.
consistent with that, but the excuse that I make for myself is I've got to have some enjoyment when it comes to food, right? That's
Man,
the
ain't that the
excuse that,
truth? Ain't that
yeah,
the
it's like,
truth?
man, come
Yeah.
on, I gotta
Yeah.
have, let make me some chocolate chip cookies, babe, so I can at least have
Yeah.
some enjoyment out of life, when it comes
Yeah.
to food. But that's what I tell myself, and I think, you know, my dad had said, man, this, look at it in a positive way, that, for your heart, you're not eating red meat,
Yeah.
it
Right.
should be
Right.
good for you. You're eating more fish. I catch a lot of crappies and I eat a lot of fish, but that in turn comes with eating a lot more stuff that I shouldn't eat, as far as junk food too. I've never ate
Right.
more junk food in my life since I got Alpha Gale,
Yeah.
because it's just a mental thing. It's like, well, and to be honest with you, that's why I go to the gym every day, so
Yeah.
I can eat like crap, and
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
do, right. This is
Right.
it. That's just it,
Yeah.
Um,
I've done the same thing,
mhm.
since I've got alpha gal. And I had a doctor's appointment, and I talked about this a little bit on the last podcast. I ended up, I'd never had a fatty liver in my life, but I had some
Yeah.
bad blood work come back.
Hmm.
Not to go through the whole story again, but um, I never had that my whole life. And
Yeah.
then get alpha gal, I lost all this weight. I
Yeah.
learned how to eat. I learned how to cook. I learned how to eat. My wife, right beside me, helping me do all that. But
Yeah.
then I learned how to, when I say cheat, not cheat with meat, but I learned how to cheat. I learned how to find out what sugars was in stuff like Twizzlers and
Yeah.
Sweeties fish and the
Yeah.
chocolate chip cookies. And it was like treat yourself, and
Yeah.
the weight came back on. Doctor put me on a strict. I got till turkey season to get back to close to where I was at, to see if we can get. I got to get control of that fatty liver.
Yeah.
I came
I've
home
got that
after.
too, by the way. I've got that
It's,
too, by the way. Uh,
so many people with alpha gal syndrome now have a fatty liver,
yeah.
and it's. I'll be honest. I don't 100% know that if it's because of the junk food.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I'm not a doctor, but I just don't feel like that's 100%. We're going to find
Yeah.
out, because I've cut it out. There's no more
Yeah.
sugar in my diet. So by
Hmm.
turkey season, um, I got to go back and see the doctor again, and we'll see
Yeah.
where we're at. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
surprisingly,
it could be a combination of things too, more junk food, but it also, I feel like there's not been enough research done to know, is it the iron deficiencies? Is it what we're not getting from not being able to eat red meat, right?
right,
Because
right,
it's a very unnatural thing to not be able to do, is to eat red meat. It's very
right,
unnatural, right?
right.
So I don't think there is enough. I don't think there's been enough research done to see. I mean, of course, you guys have the vegetarians, right? I think that's something totally different.
I
It's
think it
something
is too.
totally,
Yes. Right.
yeah, totally different. But as far as us that still eat fish and chicken, and would love to
Yeah.
still eat it, what are the other things that we don't know
And
about
what are we
alpha
missing?
gal?
What are we
Yeah, what are
missing?
we missing? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. What are we
What
missing?
is it in there? Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I tell you this. So I did have, before Alpha Gal had a bout with gout. I fought gout
Hmm.
for a while, and it
Hmm.
runs in my family on both
Yeah.
sides. You know, um, when I got alpha gal and lost all that weight and stuff, the fight went away for me
Mm.
and it came back. Well, we always thought it was red meat because I ate the heck out of red meat,
Yeah, right,
and
right.
it came back. Well, I'm not eating red meat anymore.
Yeah.
We went to our Kentucky hunt back in we moved it to rifle season this year, so I think it was November. Um, so I ordered from Amaru Hills some emu steaks because we
Mm.
go to hunt camp. We always used to have a steak dinner, right?
Right,
Well, I
right.
couldn't do it. And the guys that I hunt with was like, this is awesome. They didn't care. We'll eat chicken tonight,
Yeah.
whatever.
Right, right. Yeah.
But I ordered everybody not an emu steak, sorry, an ostrich steak. I ordered everybody an
Mm.
ostrich steak so we'd have us a steak dinner.
Wow. Yeah.
And my gout flared up, because it's a bird, but it's red meat, and my gout flared up. But I'm wondering,
Um,
I'm like, is there something in there that helps keep you from getting that fatty liver? I
hmm.
don't know. I've got some theories in my head, but
Right, right, right.
yeah. Um, so
Yeah, it's crazy, because I've talked to a few other people. Unless it's hunting or fishing, man. I live way back in the woods. I'm not. I am a social person, but I'm not. So I don't talk to a lot of people about this. So I don't know. But it's like, what can we do? You know, what can we do to make life better for us? But then you say you eat that's a bird, but it's red
yeah,
meat.
right.
And we're told, but it's just like, I don't know, man. I think it kind of gets frustrating. It gets frustrating because you can't eat it, but it's just like, I think you just rack your brain and rack your brain and rack your brain as like, how can I, how many I tell my wife this all the time. I feel like on Forrest Gump, with the shrimp. It's like, how many different
Yeah.
ways to fix shrimp. That's the way I
I'm
am with chicken, man.
I'm tired of chicken. Yeah, me too,
Yeah,
big time.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we
Uh,
got we've got a code here at the house. She'll say, she meal plans, right? And when we're sitting down a meal plan, I said, how many days are we having ABC? And anything ABC means anything but chicken. So anything but chicken.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, man, it gets rough, man, after a
yeah.
while.
It
Yeah,
does. It does. Because
yeah.
to go buy anything that ain't chicken, it's so expensive, man.
Oh yeah, it'll wear you
The
out.
ostrich and the emu. I I ordered some of that pig, that hog from. I found four ham steak. Every time you get on there to find that AGS free pork. It's
Yeah.
sold out. But I got on the website and they had three ham steaks left. I bought all three of them. So I
Yeah.
don't know if you know this, but there's a
No.
company that does heart valves. They take heart valves from hogs for humans, right? So
Yeah.
they have bioengineered pigs to not have alpha gal in it. So
Wow.
Amaru Hills they get the hogs, okay, and butcher the hogs and sell them off in pieces. So you can
Yeah.
order bacon, pork, whatever, ham steaks, and it's alpha gal free. I was very skeptical for a long time. I ordered three ham steaks. Man, they're so good, and they
Really? Wow.
no
I had no.
reaction, no
Yeah.
reaction. Yeah, yeah. So,
Wow.
but it's like same thing, but it costs so much money, man. It's like $10 a pound to get them things here.
Wow.
You know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm out killing geese. Instead of deer hunting as much as I did, I don't bow hunt as much anymore. I hit the rut kind of hard, and then I
Yeah.
wait for rifle season and Kentucky
Yeah.
rifle and muzzleload. And then
Yeah.
in between times, I'm usually Canadian goose hunting in the fields
Right.
around here to get
Right.
something in the freezer I can eat.
Yeah.
Um,
What I
but
was saying, what I wanted to touch on earlier was, I was saying, I don't associate with a lot of people, so I don't talk about my alpha gal to a lot of people unless they actually ask me. I don't go looking to talk about it. But
right,
one thing that you've brought up is you have different reactions, like your gout or you have GI problems or whatever. I've only ever had one reaction to alpha gal, and that is anaphylactic. So
that's amazing. It's
I have zero other issues. I go from 0 to 100, man. I go anaphylactic shock, and that's it. That's the only thing that I've ever had with alpha gal. Never had nothing else. It's like
That
zero.
amazes me. Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I don't, I have, it started very slow for me, lip swelling, eye swelling,
yeah,
and then
mhm,
it progressed to hives and different things. And I didn't know I was anaphylactic, but I
yeah,
laid in my living room floor in there, curled up in the fetal position, and so dizzy I couldn't get up. I mean,
yeah.
it was, and I thought I don't use the EpiPen unless you can't breathe, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah.
But then talking to the doctor, he said you was anaphylactic. You couldn't get up and walk. You should have used your EpiPen. That's the only time I've been to that point, and I just toughed it out, laying in the floor.
Yeah,
If I got a little bit better, made it to bed and slept it off. But
yeah,
um, it amazed me when you said, "Yeah, first reaction, you went straight to anaphylactic."
yeah.
That just
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and straight to anaphylactic and just lips about ready to bust, hives all over my body, and that's the only thing that ever happens to me is just straight to anaphylactic, man. That's the only thing that's ever I've had it 6 times, 6 times anaphylactic. So
wow. So let
you
me
have to
ask
go to
you.
the
So,
hospital
like,
every time.
do you like so cross contamination? Did you change all your skillets and stuff at your house, your cutting boards, and or just
No,
clean them real good? You just
just
clean them
clean
and
them real good. Yeah,
yeah,
just
yeah.
clean them real good. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
would you eat at restaurants? Do you sit down and explain to them, said, "Hey, this is what I got," or
You know what? I really don't unless it's well, for instance, me and my wife just went on a cruise, right? So
yeah,
they are really really good because like listen, right? You're in the middle of the ocean. So
right,
something happens to you, you're screwed, right? So
right,
they're really really good. First cruise I've ever been on in my life. And obviously I was nervous because of this and
yeah,
uh at dinner they come up to you and said, "Do you have any food allergies?" And I said, "Absolutely." And they prepared my food off to the side away from everything else. So I had complete confidence because every single night she would come over and she says, Josh, you have an allergy to, beef and pork, red
yeah,
meat. And so she's like, we got you taken care of. I did eat chicken every night, but,
right,
you
right,
know,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but at least I was confident that they were taking care of me, but
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah,
I think it's kind of different for me to hear that there is people having different reactions than what I'm having. I think it's, you know, I don't do as much research as I should. I talk about wanting to do it, but I just kind of bury my head in the sand, right? It's,
yeah.
something like
Well,
this.
it's your allergy.
Right,
You have learned your allergy. You don't have to
right,
worry about mine. You've learned
right,
yours, and if it
uh-huh,
get if it's working for you, then don't change it. That's
right,
best.
yeah,
If I was ever giving advice, which I'm not, but
yeah,
a lot of like so, my wife runs a little country store. She does breakfast with Santa Claus right before Christmas every year.
mhm,
We got the Blackstone fired up. A couple of my buddies are just heaving sausage links on there for the kids.
yeah,
Little pancakes and sausage links. Um, I tried to cook it myself the first year,
yeah,
and I'm not fume reactive. I can walk in the house and she can
yeah,
be cooked any house. They can be cooking bacon, and it don't bother me.
right, right,
But
yeah,
being around that sausage cooking for a couple hours straight. I felt my skin starting to itch. It's like, oh,
wow,
oh, and I got a little telltale signs. My forearm, when my
yeah,
forearm starts to itch a little bit, it's like whatever I'm doing, I need to be thinking about it because if
yeah,
I can get away from it, like I walked away from the grill, 10, 15 minutes, I was fine, But
really, wow,
it's just learning your allergy. You've learned
yeah,
yours. You've learned
yeah.
yours.
Mine
Um,
don't ever go backwards, man. Once it starts, it's going
it's
to
full
where
blast.
I'm
Yeah,
stopping breathing soon.
you're going to
Yeah,
the hospital.
I'm
Yeah.
immediately to the hospital.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and the hunts that you take are so far away. It's
yeah,
I'm glad to hear you're still doing them. That's pretty amazing, man.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good for you.
Thank you.
Good for you. So,
Yeah,
Josh, you also springtime. You got you along with Pure Whitetails, your main business.
yeah,
You got a little side business, which is all included, I'm assuming, and it's
yeah,
called Pure Crappie,
yep, yep.
which is crappie jigs, and it's for
Yeah,
the
crappie
fishermen.
jigs. Yeah, we manufacture our own rods, reels, all tackle, crappie jigs. just there's always been two things I've always been obsessed, well, three things I've always been obsessed with, which was, hunting, crappie fishing, and muskie fishing. So, I just took two out of the three and made them livelihood,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I understand how blessed I am to do it, but man, it's like I said, it ain't all sunshine and rainbows, but man, I absolutely love it, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I can
crappie's been a
imagine.
blessing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you got any big hunts on the horizon right now? Anything coming
No,
up?
well, no, not this spring. I usually do. Heck, man, I've done as many as 8 or 10 states a year for turkeys, but I've probably I probably average 6 to 7 states a year for turkeys. But this year, zero. I'm
Really?
not leaving. Yeah, I'm not leaving because my first grandbaby's due in May. So I told my wife, hey, I ain't taking no chances. I'm
No.
staying right
Yeah.
here.
Speaking
Yeah.
of this grandbaby, my daughter is at the hospital right now.
Oh
Now,
man.
with my first grandbaby soon to be coming. Now, she was
Yeah.
supposed to check in at 6. She wasn't in labor.
Yeah.
They was checking her in tonight. Going to give her some kind of medicine to see if it's not being induced yet, but
Right.
try to help her along. She's about
Yeah.
to bust. So I'm about to be
Yeah.
a grandfather. Be my first
Man,
one
that's
too.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I do have one hunt after the grandbaby comes. Me and my son, I'm taking, so 2 years ago, we didn't get to go last year because of the Canadian wildfires up there. But the year before, I took my son, the one that I just took to Iowa and killed that big buck. I took him to Saskatchewan. He killed his first black bear. We actually doubled up. So we shot two bears out of the same blind, 20 minutes apart.
oh, nice.
It was over the top, man. It was just
That's
amazing.
exciting.
So yeah, so this year it's my other son's turn, his twin brother. I'm
Yeah.
taking him up there in June, right before he gets married, actually. So that's his gift. I'm taking him.
Baby ought to be here before that or after
Oh,
before that, so you should be
yeah,
good to
before
go.
then, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, I said, well, that's what I told my buddy up there in Saskatchewan. I was like, that something happens, that baby ain't here yet, buddy. I'm out. I ain't
Yeah,
leaving.
right. Yeah.
I ain't leaving. The
Hey,
world gets put on hold.
yeah. Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
Alabama. You ever turkey hunted Alabama?
Oh man, I've turkey hunted in like 30 states, and I don't know if I've ever turkey hunted in Alabama. I've turkey
Uh,
hunted in the South quite a bit. I
the reason I ask is because
don't think I ever.
I'm giving Alabama a try this year.
Yeah, I don't think I've
Season
ever.
come
I don't think. I
season
don't think
comes
I.
in March, I think 24th.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's early down
uh,
there. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So March
Hmm.
24th. 3-day tag down there. It's like a small game. It's like $179 for an out of
Oh wow,
stater.
that's cheap.
You get 3 days and two birds. So I'm going to give
Yeah,
Alabama a try. Then Kentucky
yeah,
comes in on the 13th of April, and then back here to
yeah,
Ohio. I hope this snow and cold weather is not hurting our turkey population too bad.
yeah.
I am.
I've been worried about that. I got a food plot here at the house that I can see from the house, and I had the day before the storm. I had six longbeards in the food plot, and I was just thinking because I knew it was going to be foot and a half of snow, and I was thinking, man, what are they going to do?
Right,
You know,
right.
what are
Yeah,
they doing right now with this much snow? What are they doing right now? It's just like, man, they're
yeah.
so resilient. I know that, I realize that, but daggone, it's gotta put a hurting on them.
Gotta
Is it?
hurt them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gotta hurt them. Hopefully it's just, hopefully, next week we do have some warmer weather coming. So I'm really
Yeah, I
hoping.
read up on it a little bit today, and
Yeah,
they'll stay on the roost longer. They'll go to
yeah,
roost earlier. They'll eat a lot of the tree buds.
yeah,
They don't talk like it's going to be a big deal unless it goes too long. I mean,
yeah, right.
take it. I mean, think about out west. They make it
Yep,
out west, and they get this kind of snows all the time.
yep, they
But
do.
it
Yeah.
still makes me a little nervous. I want our turkey population to stay good. For sure.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Yeah, we used to. I mean, when I first built my house back here, we didn't have turkeys, right? There was zero. Never
Right.
seen a turkey. And then,
Right.
like, probably like 10 or 12, probably about 12 years ago, we started getting turkeys and turkeys and turkeys, and then drove my kids crazy when they still lived at home because I wouldn't let nobody kill a bird here.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going. I was going every other state but here. I wouldn't kill them in
Yeah.
my yard. They'd be right here at the back deck,
Yeah.
strutting. And my
Right.
kids, it was driving my kids. I was like, no, we're going to let them get established first. Let the population get built up a
Right.
little bit. Then we'll start, taking one. Now the most I let taken here, no matter who does it, is two.
Yeah.
I let two
Sure.
get taken here, and that's it. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta give them a chance, man.
You got to give them a chance. That's for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, Josh, man, it's been such a good talk with you. We've been on right at an hour.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to add, Alpha Gal wise, or anything about you? I'll tell you what. Do this for me.
Mhm.
Tell everybody where they can find your business, your
Oh yeah.
websites, your Facebooks, and all that. Put all that on
Yeah.
there if you would.
Yeah, so purewhitetail.com. We're on Amazon, Amazon Prime. So we're on Amazon Prime all over the country. So you can just type in Pure Whitetail, find anything about us. But my website is purewhitetail.com and purecrappie.com. So really simple to remember, purewhitetail.com, purecrappie.com. Uh, you know, Anything, the last thing I want to say? Well, I just want to say if you're struggling, man, stay strong. Just fight it. Man, come up with creative ways. Eat freaking chocolate chip cookies, man. When you have that crave for me, that's what I do. That's
That's
what I
good
do. I'm like,
advice.
heck with it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to
that's
have a
good.
little bit of enjoyment, but yeah, just stay strong with it, man. You can find 100 different ways to make chicken. One thing that I've really enjoyed is um, I used to be a big time duck and goose hunter. I'm not anymore, but like upland game and stuff, how can I fix turkey? But as far as upland game, like pheasants and quail and grouse and everything. So like, I try to go after that, and that kind of, making that stuff and killing them animals kind of helps, um,
Fill the
fight
void.
my urge of not being able to eat that buffalo or that elk or that deer or whatever. That helps a little bit,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the fishing too. So my wife's, obviously we eat a lot of crappie. So find different ways to make the crappie, bake the crappie. I never ate baked crappie before until we'd fix crappie, every week for months, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what else can we do?
Let's
And
try
she's
something
like,
new.
well,
Yeah.
I can bake it, and I'm like, let's try it. And then come to find out, I like baked crappie almost more than I like fried crappie, So I mean, just
Yeah.
keep experimenting and trying new things of what you can eat, man, because it's rough, it's tough, it
It's a
ain't
life
easy.
changing. Right, right.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a life-changing deal, man, and
Yeah.
hopefully in the future they come up with something, a shot or some medicine or something to attack it. But until then, man,
That's
hey,
a whole reason for this
yeah.
podcast as well. So
Hmm.
like I knew Lori way back 25 years ago. You know
Yeah.
Lori as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Jimmy Brugman, I don't know if you know Jimmy or not.
Mm-mm.
When I got this, he's like, man, I know somebody's got this, can help you. If it wouldn't have, I swear, man, I was on my desk. I was on death's doorstep. I felt like I was. I
Yeah.
couldn't eat anything. I was
Yeah.
reacting every day, multiple times a day, different reactions.
Yeah.
And I got with Lori, and man, she straightened me out on day one,
Wow.
and then help me improve getting better. So
That's great.
me starting this podcast is my way of paying it forward
Yeah.
for outdoors people like you and I,
Yeah.
because I online there's so many of them out there. It's like this is what I do. I hunt.
Yeah. Right.
I hunt
Right.
and fill
Yeah.
my freezer. Now what am I going to do? It's not
Exactly,
the end.
man. Yep.
You and I are living proof that it ain't over.
It
It's
ain't
not
over,
over.
man. You're
It
not
ain't
on
over.
death row, right? You're not on
No,
death row, right? Hey, and
not anymore.
you can always eat ABC, anything but chicken,
Anything but you. Yeah.
anything but chicken,
Yeah.
ABC, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I
That's
want
right.
to personally thank you for bringing attention to this, man, and doing what you're doing. It means a lot, and I appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
You're very welcome, and I'm glad you came on. One more thing that I need to add is,
Yeah.
you know that we got a bill in the Capitol building for Ohio to get alpha gal syndrome.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
I talked to our representative. I've already been to the Capitol building once.
Okay.
It's been presented once. We're going to be going back. I know I've talked to you about this earlier on, but
Hmm.
He messaged me today. They're going back on the 17th of February, and he's
Okay.
thinking that shortly after that we will be getting called. So if you're good to go testify, it'll be me, you, and a few other people
Yes,
from
sir.
Ohio to go to the state house, testify on alpha gal syndrome, on why
Yes,
it
sir.
should be a reportable disease for the state of Ohio. So
Absolutely,
um,
man. I'm there, and I do have some friends in there too.
that'd be awesome. Good,
Yep.
good. We can raise awareness, and we can make this, a disease. If somebody we can never get funding in Ohio, and we can never get education for our doctors if it's not reportable because
Right.
they don't know how much is here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
We get it mandatory reported where you go to the doctor, bam, you got alpha gal, the allergist. They have to report it to the CDC. When it gets reported, then we show how many cases we got. Then we can start getting some money for education, get money to, educate doctors to raise awareness. Just to simply raise awareness would be an awesome thing. So
Yes, it
um,
would.
I will definitely be in touch with you before that comes, Josh.
Yes, sir.
So once again, I really appreciate you coming on here today, Josh. Pleasure meeting you. I hope that we get to meet
Yes,
in,
sir.
in person real soon. So everybody else, thank you very much for listening to Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Thanks for tuning in to Alpha Gal Outdoorsman. Make sure to hit that follow button. And until we meet again, wear your tick repellent.